Hey, what's up everybody? It's the Crypto Ginger here. I just wanted to take a brief moment and go over this article from dailyhodl.com because I think that it really explains pretty nicely what was been taking place with Ripple, their products, and of course XRP within the year of 2018, especially while we were dealing with this bearish trended market. And of course, this article is more focused on an interview that was done by Treacher, who is actually a member of Ripple, and he was speaking to the Asian banker when it comes to this interview. And again, Treacher, he is actually Ripple's global head of strategic accounts. And here you can see that Marcus Treacher says there is a lot of activity in the Middle East and in India, as you mentioned during the introduction, in Southeast Asia and also Latin America. We are seeing a lot of growth as well in Northern Europe. So there is really a nice global coverage that is building very quickly. He also goes to state here that, so for the payment side, we've created a product called xCurrent. And xCurrent is what is at the heart of the Ripple network. That connects banks and payment companies together and enables money to move in seconds around the world. The other component is xRapid. xRapid is where we can separately connect into the XRP ledger for very fast delivery of liquidity into the target country as required. When you put those two together, xCurrent and xRapid, you get a very powerful payment delivery proposition, which is using blockchain technology, that's xCurrent, but does not use any token. And then you have supported by a really powerful liquidity proposition, which does use the XRP token, and that is xRapid. We don't release the full figure, but it's growing very, very quickly. So as you can see here with Marcus Treacher here, he's explaining that you have xCurrent. It really draws the banks in. It does get the banks connected to other banks and gets that momentum moving there with the information back and forth, and of course enables payments to move in seconds. Then you mix that there with xRapid, giving those banks an option now to go through the XRP ledger again for very fast delivery of liquidity to different targeted countries as required. This right here is a very good way for these banks to get themselves on board. They don't have to actually subject themselves to getting XRP immediately. They can test it out by using xCurrent. If they like that and they want to actually start saving money, they can actually get themselves into using xRapid. The article goes to talk a little bit more in depthly about the other companies that have actually partnered up with Ripple, such as MercuryFX, Qualix, Catalyst Corporate, Federal Credit Union, and of course we've heard that those particular companies there have launched xRapid for commercial use. This was back in October. We've also heard, according to the article, says Ripple has also confirmed the crypto exchanges Bittrex, Bitstamp, Bitso, and Coins.ph will use xRapid to boost payments between the U.S. and the Philippines and U.S. and Mexico. So again, we have just confirmation of additional companies that are on board to use xRapid as well. Here we have a little bit more information when it comes to some of the involvements with Ripple. It says, overall, Ripple says that at least one financial institution is signing up for one or more of its payment solutions every week. And according to Ripple's global head of infrastructure innovation, nearly 200 banks and financial institutions are now on board. Those numbers are very big when it comes to the expansion, but they're not that big when it comes to how many banks are actually around the world. So think about if Ripple is able to reach to these banks here, these targeted banks, and then you have the talks of the banks that are connected to SWIFT. Well, if they don't want to be using SWIFT's old technology, now we have the availability of these banks connecting directly to other banks who have already updated and upgraded themselves into the Ripple network. So you can really see how expansive this could become. Even here in this article, it talks about Ripple and SWIFT. That is something we heard a lot in 2018. And of course, we didn't really see much when it came to Ripple either disrupting SWIFT or even overpowering and replacing SWIFT. From Ripple's standpoint, the creation of these products that they have is really to entice the banks to come on board and use things such as xCurrent, get a feel for how it is. And of course, if they find that that's very successful for their banking system, then they can utilize xRapid then, of course, and make larger payments when it comes to cross-border payment settlements. And that right there will actually help solve liquidity issues in their banking as well. You got to keep in mind that this right here is still brand new, and this is something that, as far as evolution of this kind of technology is concerned, we could see it expanding out. We just have to give it some time. I think that this article narrows it down. This is again something coming from Marcus Treacher here. He states that, I think with the SWIFT and Ripple model, there may still be a role to play for the older hub structure messaging model such as SWIFT. However, we feel that for the bulk of payments, the real commercial flows and the resale flows, that will move to a much more open interconnection model which Ripple has created. So certainly we will dominate the central space. Whether that leads to a complete move into Ripple or not, we don't really mind. It is a big enough world. If Ripple is seen as an alternative to SWIFT at some point, then okay, fine. But our sweet spot is bringing that high volume commercial flow, which we think in the 21st century will be really, really important to support the economies of the world. So as you can see there, Marcus Treacher has expressed this before, and so have the other members of Ripple when it comes to Ripple and Swift. Really, at this point in time, they're not concerned about Swift. They don't need to be concerned about Swift. What they're doing is at the very beginning stages, so it's going to take time. And when it does open up and blossom out, we can see a large expansion take place because there's going to be banks that need to onboard themselves to communicate with these other banks who are already part of Ripple's network. I wanted to quickly go over a couple of the things when it comes to Swift here that I found very interesting here, and it's also something that I'm hopeful that if you guys are part of Twitter, you can actually be a part of this as well. Now, I know in previous videos I've talked about this person from Twitter. This is I Am Legion, who goes by the handle at PAsian26849860. And what I like about him is that he provides quite a bit of information when it comes to linking articles together that have things to do with Ripple or R3, for example, and XRP. And really, he is very good at connecting dots and, of course, taking these articles that might be overlooked and connecting them with other articles that might be overlooked as well. Now, he's not the only person in the XRP community that does this. There's a great deal of people that I like to follow. And, of course, he actually links quite a bit of people together when it comes to him putting this information out there. That way we can all visibly see this. So if you want to follow him and be up to date on a lot of this information, again, just simply go to Twitter and, of course, just start following him. You can actually put the notification bell on there so you're alerted every single time he posts something. Again, that way you can be up to date on what's happening out there when he links this information together. And something that I wanted to go over here that he posted recently was this tweet here that says, "Dream big, think big, be big." And it was interesting because in regards to his linking information together, what he's also done is he took some of the Swift board members and he posted them alongside of some of the R3 members that are basically linked together. As you can see, we have some similarities between the two board member listings there. And again, this is just one of the things that this guy does when it comes to linking this information. Now, of course, at the bottom, you can see that he didn't provide every single bank or every single member because the list is very large. This is just to give you a general idea that there are major connections when it comes to companies such as Swift and their banks that they're attached with, and companies such as R3 and, of course, even Ripple. So keep all this in mind here. Definitely check this out if you're, again, on Twitter. Definitely go look for this guy, follow him. Something else he posted here, which I found very interesting. This is something that was posted on SIA's website. He just took a screenshot and it says, "SIA and R3 partner to accelerate the adoption of blockchain applications by 600 banks and corporates." It's a lot of substantial information, and you can see how large this is becoming when it comes to these connections between partnerships and companies linking themselves to Ripple or, again, R3. This is a very expansive network when it comes to what's happening under the radar. And again, when you go online and you check out this information there, you do your own due diligence, you can find how these connections are being made. That's why I say go on Twitter and you can actually find people just like I Am Legion here that will actually make it a little bit easier for you to connect those dots because they do a lot of the homework for us. So thank you again, I Am Legion, and of course go give this guy a follow. Outside of that, guys, definitely thank you for taking the time to watch this here. I definitely appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, hit the like and subscribe button. And if you're also very concerned about this proof of keys that's supposed to be coming up when it comes to whether or not you actually have your private keys for your cryptocurrencies, then I would suggest at least looking into the Ledger Nano S wallet link